Welcome to another episode of the Business Banger Spotlight with your girl, Lady J, right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. And so, of course, we are back this week with another amazing guest. But as you all know, we must get those formalities out of the way. So, with that being said, let's check out how you can tune in and share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways and platforms that they can tune in as well.
If this is your first time tuning into the show or to JQLM Radio and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in, be sure to tell them to download the JQLM Radio app on their Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live to JQLM Radio 24/7, 365 via Amazon Alexa, TuneIn app, the Stream and Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find located on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com. Also, don't forget to follow, like, and share us. We do follow back. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JQLM Radio. You can also connect with Ego Entertainment Network at EgoEntNet. That's EgoEntNet on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter also. Also, connect with us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network, at youtube.com/Ego TV Network.
All right, now that we have those formalities out of the way, let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors, GDFAM, God Didn't Forget About Me, clothing brand and apparel owned by none other than Miss Shan White out of Atlanta, Georgia. If you would like to look dope in your God gear, go visit goddidn'tforgetaboutme.com. That's goddidn'tforgetaboutme.com. Of course, without the apostrophe, but it's spelled just like it says, GDFAM. She has hoodies, also t-shirts, bonnets, and dresses, a host of apparel. Also, you can purchase cups. You can get customized apparel for your own brand and things of that sort. So go check her out. goddidn'tforgetaboutme.com. Also, today we have yet another sponsor spotlight, none other than Finally Be. Excuse me, y'all. I had to burp a little bit. Marci Grayson is the founder and owner of Finally Be. She helps conscious visionaries on a spiritual journey to ignite their intuitive knowing, outgrow overwhelm, and give themselves permission to be the key to the life they really want and live from their wholeness. She is an intuitive resolve coach, meditation coach, Reiki energy therapist, and licensed mental health counselor. She also hosts the Finally Be podcast. To find out more about her services or to book her, call 317-721-5897. That's 317-721-5897. Or connect with her on social media at Finally Be Unique. That's Finally Be and the word unique. You can also connect with her on LinkedIn. That's on Facebook and Instagram, but on LinkedIn, check her out under Marci Grayson. That's MarciGrayson. And so now that we have that out the way, let's go ahead and introduce our guest, which is none other than Miss Marci Grayson herself. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me, Lady J.
No problem. I feel like I just said a whole mouthful.
I do it all, right?
Yes. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
No problem.
And listeners, listen, this is radio, so you all get the bloopers and everything. And let me just say, today was very challenging getting on here, okay? It was challenging,
Okay.
but we're here. We are here. No, nevertheless, we are here. So real quick, let's get a little bit into your background. So can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, as your personally? So like where you're from, where you're born and raised, and what you were doing in the corporate world, if you were in the corporate world before you decided to become an entrepreneur.
So for me, my background, I was born and raised in South Bend, Indiana. My parents, Harold Brazier, a famous boxer, and my mother raised me, Margaret Brazier, and we've been in that area for many years. And then I ventured out into, college and Western Michigan University for grad school, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor.
Mhm.
So I've been doing that for over 15 plus years, and
Mhm.
something stirred in me because throughout my life, I've had these intuitive calls from God and Source and Spirit, however you honor that piece of yourself. And
Mhm.
my journey has got me to this place through a lot of different downfalls. A lot of times we go
Mhm.
through life and we don't recognize that we have these gentle reminders that you can switch it up at any time. And one thing that happened with me is that for many years I had dealt with chronic depression. I was
Mhm.
suicidal for many years due to, just overall knowing that I wasn't living my truth.
Mhm.
And that moved into relationships that were abusive, emotionally abusive. Some of them were physically abusive. Moved into a place where I had like deep hurts because of who I was, and did not realizing that I can step into more of what was coming out of me, what was coming through me. And I would connect with
Mhm.
different people along the way, just having this inspired intention to push people and encourage people. And I would have these what I call downloads, these spiritual knowings to help people, encourage them to be more themselves. But here I
Mhm.
was sitting in my car weeping and crying, asking God, when is it gonna break? When is it gonna change? And and
Right.
God continued to tell me new things, and I hesitated. I would hesitate and hesitate. And so along the years, while other people were, downloading Angry Bird, I was downloading things like how to kill yourself without your family knowing. And so after that long period in my life, I went into a relationship that started to shift some things. But the one thing that didn't happen for me, that I would have trying to get pregnant for like over 10 years, and I was told that I wouldn't be able to be pregnant and all of these different things. And so that increased that longing and that hurt and that pain that was going through me. And the downloads from God was causing me to shift who I was in a lot of different areas of my life. And so I started having multiple miscarriages. So I had miscarriage after miscarriage over a 2-year period. And then after that, the doctors were like, after spending an amount of money that was crazy, and then told that I would have like a 40%, 60% chance of 40 to 60% chance of having a baby because I would need help. I just stopped everything, and something shifted in me, and it was like this opening up within my spirit to allow everything to release. And from
Mhm.
that point, there's just it was just starting to be a shift, and that shift moved me into going deeper into my spirituality and my spiritual journey. And I got into it was this amazing story where I connected with a friend, connected with Reiki, energy, um
Mhm.
services, and I got into one of their classes. And then after that, it just took off. And now I'm a certified Reiki master. I'm a intuitive resolve coach. I help pull that intuitive knowing, those spiritual gifts out of people for them to become awakened in that area. I encourage people to move into their callings and do deep meditations, teaching people how to meditate on a level that's who they are, because we all are natural meditators. And that's how
Mhm.
my life transitioned into this entrepreneurial journey, where I had to let go of those other things and shifted from helping people in the field of mental health and behavioral health services and helping people to function into helping people to live from their wholeness. I think that transition allowed me to be more of me.
Awesome. So, would you say that what sets you apart from other people in your field is that you have actually encountered some of the things that maybe some of your clients come to you about, like depression or being suicidal and things of that sort, versus
Yeah.
being someone who just went to school to earn a degree that only knows what was taught to them in a book and through a bunch of theories?
That I integrate my background and, the things I've learned. But that experience, when you have the experience
Hmm.
of going through those things and allowing, spirit to shift your whole being into healing, into knowing how to be healed. So being chronically depressed and then knowing that I can connect with, God and shift all of that. It's a totally different experience than just, spouting out different theories to somebody or different approaches and techniques and not knowing how to shift when a person needs to shift. So yes,
Right.
that is unique to me. And that's the uniqueness of what I do, is that it comes from a place of a connection, a unity with each person that I encounter.
Right. I do find that a lot of people have more success when they are partnered with someone that can identify with where they are and exactly what it is that they're going through. Because it's kind of difficult to understand an individual outside of what you know about psychology, if you will, when
Mm.
you have not experienced it yourself, because each individual is very unique to each situation. Three people can go through the same thing, but have three totally different outcomes, lead three totally different lives. And, it affect them in three totally different ways. So I I like to ask that question whenever someone is in the field of therapy. As myself in field of psychology, I think
Mhm.
that that sets you apart from most other people in the field or in the industry. While all of it is needed, for
Mhm.
those that are dealing with chronic, I'll say chronic issues or diagnoses and things of that sort, it's really, really difficult to help people not stay in a state of constant transition or coping when you have not when the only tools that you have are those that you obtain while going through your education. So I
Mhm.
think that it's needed for you to have that component, just like those who are like addicted to alcohol or drugs, they partner them with someone who has already walked down that road you know so I think that that's awesome and amazing too, that you decided to add a few other components outside of just the regular therapy, like the Reiki therapy, and
Mhm.
the other things that you incorporated to create a system that worked for you. And then now
Yeah.
you're able to offer that to the people that you serve. So,
So yeah, that
mhm,
that process happened with recognizing that, approaches are good. Techniques, we learn techniques and strategies
mhm,
all the time. And
mhm,
to be really transparent about that, those things only work for so long. But when you
right.
understand
Mhm,
how you operate as who you are, things can
mhm,
shift. It's like a lot of people try to learn how to be more confident. But if you're working out of this place of knowing who you are, your confidence is going to show up. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
Mhm,
that piece of it is I think what shifted me into doing what I'm doing now is that we go deeper into who you are and recognizing those beautiful aspects, those unique expressions of yourself to create what you're trying to create for your life instead of just managing the overwhelm, managing the stress, managing the anxiety, managing the depression. Now we can find a way to see, okay, who are you really? And how do you
mhm.
look at life? So now that you know how you look at life, you can shift from that place of knowing that you're not broken, that you are whole, that you have everything that you need. And that causes us to see life differently. And when you see life different, you operate in life differently.
Absolutely. Changing your perspective.
Mm,
Absolutely.
elevating
So,
it. Yes.
yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So tell me, how did you come up with the name Finally Be?
Woo, I love this story.
Mhm,
I had I had so many versions of my company when I first started. Initially, it's called Prolific Resolve, and then
mhm,
because I'm really about the resolve of the person, taking these, making this decision, choosing your true you, and moving forward with that. And then it was something that started to tell me to go a little deeper, and it moved me to my company overall name is See Through, and
mhm,
that comes from grasping the understanding and the fullness and the full nature of a thing. And when you do
mhm,
that, you come to this place of knowing that you can be exactly who you are all the time. And so I was talking to a person, and we start just brainstorming things, because really what I want people to know is that they have everything that they need. They are their answer. You are your own opportunities, and when you understand that, you can finally be exactly who you are. You can finally walk in that thing. You can finally own your presence. And so just being is where what people are really trying to do, and to live from that wholeness of who they are and that fullness. And that creates this place of, just knowing that you're existing here, and it allows your light to shine even brighter. So that's where the finally be came from.
awesome. So I can't believe we're already 16 minutes in, guys. Actually, almost 17 minutes in. So it is time for us to take our break for the show, but don't go anywhere. Stick and stay, because when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation with Marci Grayson, and we are going to have our new segment, Business Gone Wild. And wait till you hear today's story. So don't go anywhere. You are tuned into the Business Banger Spotlight with your girl, Lady J, right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network.
What if you had the ability to encourage yourself just by putting on a piece of clothing? It's possible when you shop GDFAM. God Didn't Forget About Me apparel. Shop dresses, t-shirts, sets, jumpsuits, sweatsuits, and more for men and women. When you look good, you feel good. And when you can remind yourself that you have not been forgotten, you feel great. Shop GDFAM now at GodDidn'tForgetAboutMe.com. Music. Powerful Advertising Trap by Anton Vlasov on Pixabay.com.
All right. And we are back again. That was our sponsor. God Didn't Forget About Me, GDFAM apparel brand. And we have been talking with Miss Marci Grayson of Finally Be, the intuitive resolve coach. So before we get back into our interview with her, let's go ahead and do our segment, Business Gone Wild. So today's story is something that I know about all too well. And hopefully, it's not too many of you out here that have gone through this. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into it. So there is a individual who owns a company that does graphic design and things of that sort. But this individual is having surgery. They're ill. Okay. They're ill to the point where they have to have, major surgery, and they've let their clients know that they won't be available for, quite some time. They've tried to, do all of their all up to I'll say complete all of their work that was on their docket before this happened. So before they knew that they were going into surgery, surgery was scheduled, they went ahead and did everything and sent it over to their clients. Now, you have one client that decided on the day of the surgery to contact the entrepreneur. And the client says, "Are you well enough to talk?" And then the entrepreneur says, They are prepping me for my surgery this morning." And then the client comes back and says, "Okay, well, I just wanted to know if you can clean up a few of these pictures. This is kind of urgent. So let me know ASAP." Okay, so this in itself, people, is extremely disrespectful and inconsiderate and incompassionate on your part as a client. And for me personally, I suffered a ruptured brain aneurysm on August 22nd of 2019. On August 23rd, I had just opened up a new building and there was supposed to be an event at the building. Now, the individual that usually opens the building, she happened to be with me and my children when this happened the evening. It was actually the night before that it happened. So she had my kids and they rushed me. I'm literally on my deathbed. I'm dying. Okay. And this individual is like going ham, talking crazy to, the staff and sending these messages and tried to drag, my name and everything. I know she's sick, but I can at least get my money back. And I said, how are people supposed to know how to gain access to things, certain things and all of that if I'm unable to speak, if I'm literally dying, yeah, this was that to me was like mind blowing that there are literally people out here that operate this way, that have no regard for other people's lives or for their well-beings, even if they are a person that you decide to do business with, that you love their service so much so that you are so important that their life literally doesn't matter. So I don't know, what do you think about that story, Marcy?
Wow. So now let me say this. I'm from old school, person is before anything else.
Mm-hmm,
I'm very person centered about the things I do, encouraging people. But I do know this from the experience of working in the field of behavioral services, working in the field of people.
mm-hmm,
People think about them first. Now, your
mm-hmm.
urgency is your urgency, but this
Right.
is my life and this is how I need to live right now. This is what's important to me. And
Mm-hmm,
the fact of the matter is that is what most people focuses. We have a very narrow mind when it comes to unity, when it comes to thinking that we're all one being and we're all here together to serve each other, to love each other. And that point of view, I know it's shady, it's shady for a lot of things because we feel like that's harming this other person when you don't think about the other person. But a
mm-hmm,
lot of times that's how people move. They operate that way because we have this disconnect from another person when it's not your situation. And that is something that, that's something that most people have to take a step back, like, hey, I'm this person is me, we're together, this is,
mm-hmm.
and the other piece of that I would say is don't answer your phone.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I
Don't
couldn't, so they
answer
were
your
doing that. But yeah, absolutely,
right,
I
right.
agree.
Don't answer
I
your
agree.
phone. Just don't. Just cut it all off
Yes,
because
yes.
for anybody to be calling you, and we never know what's going on with a person, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
just take care of yourself. Don't answer the phone. I know that you worried about your business and stuff, but if it's something going on with you, please cut it down. Shut it down.
Right.
Shut it down.
Yes,
And I'm gonna say, because nobody gonna take care of you. The only person that can take care of you is you. So make sure,
absolutely.
so on both ends, people, yeah, we gotta be more observant to be more of a unity. But the other end is, hey, you gotta take care of you, boo.
Right,
So,
right.
you know, don't answer that phone. I'm just saying.
So when it comes to situations like this is going to be my piece of advice. Okay. If you are a client and you have been doing business with someone and there is a life or death situation, consider if it were you. Extend the same grace that you would expect for someone to give you in that situation. Because had my funeral taken place, then you know 9 times out of 10, if that person would have had any kind of, I'll say, heart or tact about themselves, they probably would have felt very bad. you know. And granted, if you are the entrepreneur and that happens to you, and someone tries to, discredit you and things of that sort, there are people that will step in on your behalf, as people did for me. And so that person dialed back, and granted, and thank God that nothing came of it, because people knew me well enough to know the way that I conduct business and things of that sort. I'm not a scammer and things of that sort. So, but people had to check that individual. And and I don't know what the outcome was after that, because they didn't want me to know, but it was handled. But in that season, I had to learn how to trust God in that. Yes, I was worried about my name, and it kind of made me feel some type of way that, and we know there are people out there that just don't care. I understand that. But if you're going to be a client of someone that you are connecting with, that you see as a servant and is caring when it comes to their clients and things of that sort, do not operate in that way, or just find someone else to work with that does not have that kind of interaction with their clients. Because understand that you have to reap what you sow. So for every action there's a consequence. So that's going to be my advice on that. So, Marci,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell everyone what services you provide through Finally Be, and how people can connect with you?
Yes. My services, I am an intuitive resolve coach. We go and deep dive into where you are right now and where you want to go. I help visionaries. When I say visionaries, I mean success driven, freedom focused visionaries who want to make changes and rapid, accelerated changes in their life, in their businesses, and just in their families and their and how they interact in the world. And we go deep dive. We help with the overwhelm piece. We help with all those different elements that causes us to feel like we've been pulled in different directions. So my coaching services right now, elevate, transform, and accelerate the ETA Finally Be coaching program. There's an application process you can go through in order to get with me there. I also have an intensive Reiki sessions, Reiki energy therapy sessions that I do. And then I also do certifications for that and meditation coaching as well. So those are different pieces. I work with businesses. I do speaking engagements. It's all in there. So just connect with me and we'll see what is the best services that fit you.
Awesome. Awesome. So, as I mentioned earlier, another way that you can connect with her is by calling 317-721-5897. And also you can connect with her on social media, on Facebook and Instagram at Finally Be Unique, and on LinkedIn at Marci Grayson. So we have 2 minutes left in the show. Real quick, in about 30-45 seconds, what word of encouragement would you like to leave with our listeners?
I would love to leave that when you are in this life and we're operating in this world, there is something more inside of you. There is a shine that is ready to come out. And when you get to that place of knowing fully who you are, you begin to live from that wholeness, and that wholeness will open up opportunities and doors for you. And I would love to connect with you in that and be on that journey with you, because us knowing who we are fully creates a whole new world, and it allows, when you're shining, it allows me to shine, and that person next to you, it shifts everything around you. And that's something that I just love and enjoy seeing in people. And that is something, you're not broken. You know what I'm saying? You're not broken. This is your time to shine.
Awesome. Well, again, Miss Marci, the Intuitive Resolve Coach, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
Yes. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's show for the Business Business Banger Spotlight with your girl, Lady J, right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. And until next time, everybody, keep banging in business, and we will see you next week. All right. Love y'all. Deuces.